Financial priorities differ from person to person. They can also differ from year to year based on personal, professional, or family circumstances, or from market conditions. In this segment, we'll talk about how you can prioritize your financial goals, and we'll show you some specific steps you can take to reach them. Okay, let's talk about saving. We all know we need to be putting money aside so that we can have a secure financial future, but we don't want to live like paupers. So how do we know how much we should be putting aside in order to make sure we're prepared?
The first thing you have to do is to establish what your goals and what your priorities are. People say, oh, how much should I save? How should I invest? And I say to them, what are you going to use your money for? Let's start out with a priorities list. And different people will have different priorities with retirement, helping adult kids, whatever they need most, their travel. But the priority list comes first. Once you've got that list, then you start saying, what do I do to save for each specific goal that I have, starting with the one that's most important, which is retirement and your emergency savings. And once you have your goals established, then you ask specific questions like, how much should I be saving toward this goal?
I have a client that makes over $1 million a year, but typically ends up borrowing money to pay their taxes each year. So savings is a key factor in financial planning. And when creating your plan, you should expect to live a long time. Statistically speaking, women do live longer than men.
I think that is the biggest misunderstanding that everybody has, men and women, but women in particular, because of our longevity. You don't figure on how long you're going to live and how much money it's going to take. And so if you retire at 60 or 65, you've got 30 or 40 years that you have to plan for, and people just don't really think how much that's going to cost.
Now, Lachelle, how do you help your clients prioritize their goals, understand their cash flow needs, and then build a roadmap to get there?
Well, I tell them the first thing we need to do is to get organized. So we need to pull all the important documents into one place. And you can keep those in file folders or online files, whatever you're most comfortable with. But the main thing is to take a look at all of your different accounts, IRAs, brokerages, retirement plans at the office. Pull out your insurance documents and make sure that they're in one place. And take a look at your beneficiary designations from time to time. I ask my clients at the beginning of every year to review their beneficiaries. And this is because we want to make sure that what you've set out to accomplish is actually in place. Most people don't realize that a beneficiary designation actually trumps what's in the will document. And you want to also look and see if you have a healthcare proxy in place and durable powers of attorney.
So, Jane, what else should we be thinking about? What are some of the other things that you want to make sure your clients are working on?
It's really important to start thinking about this very early. I mean, it's lovely if you start saving in your 20s. If you don't, still there's your 30s and your 40s, you need to do that. The fact is, if you make your savings automatic and have it taken out of your paycheck and it just goes right into your savings account, you will live on what's left. Also, you build a retirement and an emergency fund. Those are, I think, the key things. And then finally, need to be sure that you are getting out of debt. An astonishing number of boomers now are going into retirement with record amounts of debt. We are seeing rising numbers of bankruptcies among people in their 70s and 80s because they went into retirement with too much debt. So save early and often, make it automatic, and get out of debt.